Welcome, you guys. Welcome. You see this? Do you see this? I have on a full face of beat right now. So I hope you guys. Enjoy my lipstick. I hope you guys enjoy my new top. I did my brows. I got my face on together today. I'm doing this thing called being a girl. Yeah, I'm doing this thing called being a girl. So maybe you should try it sometime. It's a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and jump right into our questions for today. So, question number one is a really good one. So what kind of advice would you give to new competitors? One of the things that I really love to do as a coach is to be able to share my knowledge with my client base and to share my knowledge with all of you guys. No matter how you come in to see me, whether it's like through the Facebook group here or if it's through, YouTube and stuff like that. And so I get a lot of contact from new competitors who want to get into this game. And it's like, how do I go about doing this the smart way, the right way? One of the things I'll say for you guys is that you have the luxury nowadays of just having the internet. And you have the luxury of being able to connect with like other people who are in the industry and do research and really learn about what it is you're getting into before you get into it. So one of the things that I always tell every single competitor, no matter what your division is to become a fan of the sport. To make sure that not only are you looking at people and what they're doing online and you're looking at pictures and competitors that you follow, but that you're also, immersed in the entire, industry itself too. So attend local shows, make sure you show up, know what your division is looking for. So like the more that you go to shows and the more that you see competitors on stage, the more you see that the way that judges compare competitors, the better. So make sure that you definitely become a fan of the sport. The next thing that I would say is that a lot of people, I think, begin their prep in the wrong kind of way. So they'll pick a show first and they'll be like, okay, I want to do this show and now let's go ahead and prep for it. But they don't realize how much work really goes into doing a show. And so at the end of it, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect all of this work that I actually had to put in. And now here I am, like driving myself absolutely freaking insane. And, I should have prepared more. I get a lot of people say that I should have prepared more. So what I would say to newbie competitors is to just take a step back. Not only are you going to go attend shows and learn more about the division that you want to compete in and just really observe it, but also I want you guys to just look at your bodies from an objective standpoint and see what it is about your physique that you need to bring up. So spend some time. I would say spend a good maybe 3, 4, or even 6 months for some of you guys, just in a small off season before you officially begin a prep. So for those of you that want to go into figure, are your shoulders, nice and round? Do you have a wide back? Are the legs, do you have a nice quad sweep? Are you balanced from top to bottom, left to right, front to back? So really get an objective point of view about how you're looking and then start to build your body up. During that 3 to 6 month period, you can really focus also on reverse dieting. So try to get your calories up way super high and get your metabolism really humming and really, really revving up. So that way you can just literally eat food, masses of food, and train and not gain a lot of weight and stuff like that. So once you're able to slip into that contest prep period, it's so easy to do. It's like a breeze, So those are some of the things I think is really important for newbies. Don't jump in right away. Get to know the sport, watch your division, go to shows, show up, get involved in the community, and then don't jump into a prep right away. Think about doing maybe a reverse diet, bring up your body parts the way that they need to be, and then you'll be ready to rock and roll in your first show. The next question I have here, what should I look for when it comes to hiring a coach? This is a question I get all the time from everybody. And I think it's a good question. I think that it's a good question that you guys are starting to make sure that you're doing your research and make sure that you're hiring people that you actually want to work with and that mesh well with you. I have a lot to say on this topic because to me it's near and dear to my heart because this is what I do on a daily basis. And one of the things that I will say is that over the years, what I've noticed is that a lot of people, who call themselves coaches, because it's so easy to just go right into the industry nowadays and just put a label on your name and you are who you say you are. They're not really truly coaching their clients. And I've had the fortunate ability to work with like coaches, business coaches, and all that other stuff, people in other lines of work that call themselves coaches, and you hire those people to work with. And the way that they run their businesses is completely different than the way that like a fitness coach would run their business. Whereas, when you hire a coach and you hire someone to help you with something in your life, it's like you go through, you talk about the things that you want to do, you set goals, you're held responsible, you're held accountable for what you have to do, you have things that you need to do exercise-wise or whatever to bring yourself to a higher plane. It's always about bringing yourself to a higher plane than where you are right now today. And it seems like with fitness coaching and training and nutrition, all this other online coaching, that a coach is just there to give you a diet and training program and kind of send you on your way, and that never has sat well with me. So for me, I think the word coach, not everyone should be called a coach. The way that we do things with my rock stars is, we sit down, we make tangible goals. We make, in a 12-week period, what do you want to do? What are we trying? What are we working for? And what are some of the things that have been stopping you from getting to your goal and getting to the next level? We sit and look at those things on top of, here's your diet program, here's your training program. This is how you need to eat. This is how you need to train to be your best. But it's always about elevating that person to the next level. So for my competitors, it's like about developing competitors. For my non-competitors, it's about bringing you to your best and your, whatever that is in your mind's eye, and giving you all the tools to be able to do that. So what I would say now to people in this, area that I'm in with my own business and my own career and how I run things, is that when you're looking at coaches, like, really study them. If they have YouTube channels, get on them and watch what they say. If they have social media, everybody does nowadays, see what they're posting about. Are they just always posting like booty shots and, shots is for women, like booty shots and like body shots and stuff like that? For guys, are they only always showing off their abs or whatever, and they're never posting any substance? Do you really want to work with a person like that? It's like, what knowledge are they bringing to the table? The other thing is that, I get on the phone and I talk to my clients. We connect because to me, that connection is important. So if that's important to you too, make sure that you can work with someone who actually is going to be there, that you can talk to, that you can actually ask questions about before you guys get started. The person that you entrust your help with during this time of like prepping for a show or whatever your goal is, hiring someone online, it should be something that empowers you and, like I said, always pushes you to that next level. If you're in a relationship, a coaching relationship, where you feel like you're being put down, your coach doesn't care about you, they don't know your name, even though you've told them a million times, you still don't know your name, and that you're just out there on your own, then that's not what you should be paying for. So stop putting your money towards that and put your money now towards something that actually, like, it's going to get you to where you need to. And sometimes for a lot of you, that means that you're going to have to think about investing a little bit more, looking at a coach that's $99 a month or $25 a month, or even sometimes like $125 a month. You're not going to get the hands-on things that you need to. When I worked with someone, I was paying them about $400 a month to work with them. But like, I really got what I paid for. So that's what you also have to think about as well. Save up your money. This is an expensive sport. It's a hobby. And, save your money to be able to work with the best, and you should be in the right hands. The next question that I have that came in is, how long should an off season be for a natural competitor? Great question. So I guess I think it just depends on what it is you're trying to do, your body type, and how easily or not that you put on muscle, and what your division is, of course. For the divisions like figure, for women's physique, and for bodybuilding, of course, you're going to have to spend a lot more time putting on quality size and making sure that you can be able to rival those girls that you're going to be standing next to, natural or not. For a division like bikini, and although I will say this, bikini has come up a lot. Bikini has come up in muscularity, and it's also come up in leanness. So in order to get the level of leanness that they are requiring for that division, you have to have some muscle on you. So I really think it just depends on what it is and what your goals are. And that's where it's really important to sit and work with a coach who knows what they're talking about, who knows the industry, that knows what they're doing, who can sit and evaluate you and tell you exactly what it is that you need to do to bring out your best. I would say that for, most of my clients, like after we come off a long season, I want them to take a long break. So if I've had a client who's been like, competing in 4 different shows and it took us about 6 months to do all of those shows together with all the prep and stuff like that, I'm going to want them to at least take about 4 months off, at least. And to just really look to see where they are. So that's about 16 weeks right there. You know what I mean? If you heard a crash and a bang, that's my cats destroying my bathroom right now. And I'm going to do everything in my power to act like they're not destroying my bathroom and try to kill them. But anyway, if you just heard that, that's what's going on right now. Anyway, they're kittens. They're just everywhere. So what was I talking about? Oh, yes, conscious prep. So I'm sorry, off season. So 16 weeks at the minimum if you don't have a lot to work on. But if you have a lot of mass you have to put on, and you are a natural competitor, you might want to do 6 months. You might want to do a full year. So it really just depends on your goals and what it is you're trying to do. So make sure that you hook up with someone that knows what they're talking about, a great coach who can look at you and say, hey, this is what your body needs to do. This is what needs to happen. Let's make this happen and get you to the next level. So that was a great question. My next question that I got in comes, what is it? I'm sorry. My next question is, what kind of dieting advice would you give for peak week? All right, awesome. So peak week is always an interesting thing because everybody always has a bunch of questions about, how do I perfectly peak for a show and this, that, and the third. And, it's almost as though we've been led to believe that this peak week thing is like this magic formula, magic equation type of thing. And the truth of the matter is that, for me and the way that I approach peak week, it's so simple, you guys. It's so set in stone. And it's because when you do your programming in a way to set you up for success, like, for instance, for me, I like to carb cycle, like, from about 10 weeks out. With most clients, we start, like, carb cycling. And the thing about carb cycling is that it's literally practicing your peak week over and over and over again for a number of weeks and just tweaking it, and making sure that by your show date that how long it takes to get the water off that you might have accumulated during the high carb day, when to place your high carb day, what kinds of foods work for you, what your low carb day should be structured like. So it just helps you to know by the time you get to like your peak, there's literally nothing you have to do. Now my clients and what I like to do is I like to do what's called a mock peak. So, like I said, we're carb cycling all throughout, and their training and diet program is put together in order to hold on to as much muscle as we can and burn as much fat as we can at the same time. But when we get to that last 2 weeks is where I'm going to go ahead and really start layering in like how we're doing the diet and how we're doing your specific like depletion workouts and all that other stuff. So that way by the final week, we just run it again and it's right where we need to be. Now, nothing really changes in that last week food-wise, because again, we know exactly what it is that we have to do for their body. Now, what I do like to do is I like to take out things that could possibly affect someone as far as how much water they hold and having a greater control of manipulating variables like the macros and proteins and carbs and all that other stuff. I really like to be like numbers. So what I like to do is eliminate like protein powders. I'll take that out, tell them to drop any powdered supplements and stuff. If they're taking yohimbine, which tends to make the body hold a little water, I'll have them drop that. And we'll really stick to solid foods during that point in time, so we really kind of get to know and get to tweak everything really to the letter without too much deviation or other stuff. So we take out all that extraneous stuff. And then the other thing that I have my clients do is the final week for peak week, I actually replace all veggies with asparagus because of the natural diuretic quality that it has to it. So we push off a little bit of water while we're going along. The next thing that I do is at 2 weeks out, we start to drink 2 to 2.5 gallons of water every single day. And that helps. More water in is more water out. So that really helps to dry you out. And I don't manipulate sodium or do any of that other stuff that can cause you to spill over or to go flat. I just kind of just leave that alone and just use the manipulation of food for the client to lead us to where we need to be for the peak. It's really that simple, you guys. It's really nothing more than that. So if you carb cycle going into your show, test your peak week at 2 weeks out. Don't do anything too crazy. Drop the powdered supplements and stuff like that. Stick to whole foods. Up your water intake. Replace your veggies with asparagus in the final week. and you should see yourself looking really great for the stage without all of that crazy hocus pocus that can ruin an entire 16-week prep in literally a few days. So the next question that I have is, for women, what's the average amount of muscle that she can put on in a month? Great question. So I get this a lot. I had this conversation with a client of mine who's like, I want to put on like 10 pounds of muscle in the next 3 months. And I'm like, whoa, so what kind of fantastic drugs are you willing to take? Because that's the only way that's really going to happen. And the truth of the matter is you guys, for women, like on average, putting on about 1 to 2 pounds maybe of muscle a month is really normal. And 2 pounds is like the upper echelon of those of you with like crazy gifted genetics or on great amount of awesome drugs. Hey, listen, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, or like for those who are like newbies who never really trained before, now you're getting on like a real program and you're going to see your body like really respond really easily. But for those of us who are a little bit more advanced, that number actually slows down over time. So you're looking at putting on about 1 pound of muscle realistically a month. So that's what you can expect. And 1 pound of muscle is actually a lot, you guys. You don't realize, like, you ever see that the comparison between 5 pounds of muscle and 5 pounds of fat? 5 pounds of muscle, it looks like a big giant bicep, like seriously. So like 1 pound of muscle is actually a lot. And so I wouldn't get so much hooked up on numbers, you can definitely look at like lean body mass and make sure that you're tracking that as you're going along. Go do the bod pod or do the calipers, or do DEXA is the gold standard, so keeping track of that, so you can kind of like watch to see what's going on with your body in that way. But like I just say to train, give yourself a period of time where you decide that you want a lean build. Let's say if that's 4 months, 6 months, and you're just going to try to put on as much size as you can. Just really look at the shape of your body and see what's changing and compare it, month to month, week, couple of weeks, whatever, with your pictures and measurements and seeing how that's coming along. Don't obsess about, oh my God, I have to put on 5 pounds of muscle in a month, because it likely won't happen that fast. But just keeping a more realistic grip on what it is that you're doing is always the best course of action. So my next question. If I have a lot of weight to lose and I want to get on stage, how should I begin my journey? This is a good question. And here's the thing. It's kind of like what I just talked about with newbie competitors and trying to choose like what shows to do and how to like get yourself started on that journey. You're in the same boat. My thing is that like, I don't like to use bodybuilding shows as a means to like pushing someone to like lose weight. Because what we do is a sport and it should be respected as such. And I don't like when people use it as like a weight loss journey thing. I think that because bodybuilding is a lifestyle, and like the way that we have to eat and train and stuff like that has to be so specific, especially if you don't want to ruin your body. So to put like a contest prep date on top of having a lot of weight to lose isn't necessarily the smartest thing that you can do, physically, hormonally, mentally, emotionally, or anything. So my advice is always to do the following. So let's say you have like 30 to 50 pounds or more or whatever to lose. Focus on getting that off first. Focus on like really establishing a lifestyle for yourself that once you're ready to go ahead and start to prep, it's just a heightened version of what you already normally do. That way you're not driving yourself crazy, worrying about numbers and getting into a posing suit and getting on stage and not being ready and all this other stuff. I see so many people like choose a date and like, okay, 12 weeks from now, I've got to lose like 40 pounds to get on stage. It's like, girl, what are you doing? And then you have these coaches who allow people to do that. And to me, it's just really irresponsible. So I like to say with all of my clients, especially my newbies who we know we have to lose some weight first, is we're first going to just get this weight off of you. And we're going to get you to a point whereas how you have to eat, how you have to train is just second nature to you, point blank, period. And that no matter what, like let's say you get up to that, that athletic, I like to say we're going to get you to a point where you are naturally in an athletic state all the damn time. That's how you just look good all the time because of your efforts. And it's at that point that we can look at, okay, this is a realistic show to do. This is like, about 20 weeks out, 16, whatever. Now we can go ahead and take on a prep. But like, what if you get up to that time period and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So are you going to just throw your entire work away? You know what I mean? Like, because now you decided that you don't want to do a show, and that happens to a lot of people. So my thing is just get yourself to a point where you are naturally in shape, athletic, and you reach close to your goal weight. And then at that point, once you're there and you know that you're solid and everything like that, then you can look to see, all right, I'm ready to kick it up a notch. I'm ready to really rock and roll. Now I'm going to pick a show. Now I'm going to go ahead and focus on getting myself to that next level physically and stuff. So I think that's a smarter way to go about it. The stage will always be there, you guys. And I feel like sometimes competitors are always rushing to get there. Newbies are always rushing to get there. And it's like, back in the day, this used to be a journey. Back in the day, this used to be something that people actually took time to build their bodies and to develop themselves into as best of a competitor that they can be. So that way, when you step on that stage, that you're going for the gold, you're going for a win, you're going there to do some damage. And I think that's always the smartest way to go about doing it. And it's so easy, I think, sometimes to lose sight of that. And one of the things that I'll just always say to you guys, no matter where you are in this game, whether you are a newbie or if you're someone who's been doing this for a very long time, the one thing that I will say is that if you're not enjoying it, then, guys, just stop doing it. If it's not fun anymore, then stop, because this journey should be fun. Think about why you even started it in the first place, right? When you're a newbie, it's like, oh my gosh, the fantasy of doing this and what it means to me it's driving me. So the moment that stops, that's the moment that you have to kind of say, all right, I need to do something else. So that's it for our Q&A, guys. We had some really great questions, and I really appreciate you taking the time to sit here and talk to me today. I don't see any other questions that have popped up, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end our stream today. Oh, English. Hey, Belinda, what's up? I actually do see 2 questions over here. When you first start a nutrition plan, are you generally hungry off and on throughout the day? Yay, Belinda. Belinda's one of our new rock stars, so by the way, thank you, Belinda, for your question. Yeah, you know what? It is normal to be hungry throughout the day, and especially when you're on a fat loss plan. If fat loss is your goal, you're gonna definitely feel hunger at different points. That's always, that's always a good thing too, because hunger signals should fluctuate throughout the day. Your insulin levels go up and down, before and after meals. So it's signaling your body that you should be, having your next one. And that's a sign that your metabolism is being revved up, especially when we're talking about having the training and the equation and stuff like that. So yes, hunger is definitely a normal part of the equation. As meal spacing is concerned, I would say to get your meals in every anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, whatever works well for you. Try not to go too long in between there. And just really listen to your body. If you're feeling hungry, eat your next meal. Plain and simple, So, yes, that is a normal part of the equation. And welcome aboard, Belinda, by the way. I got the package you sent me, so I'll email you about that as well. So you guys, that's the only extra question that I had coming in for today. So I'm going to end our Q&A. One thing I'll say before I go is that I know that I have a lot of you guys that are here watching this video that are not rock stars, that may be thinking about becoming rock stars, that want to work with me. I just want to remind you that I work with people of any goal, or rather, let me cut that down again. I work with women specifically who love to be in the gym, who love to train, who love to go beast, who really are at a point though that they may feel like everything that they're doing isn't working right now. So if you're at a point where as you feel like you've been trying and failing at the same goal over and over again, I know some of my clients, when they come on with me and they tell me their stories, it's like, they've been at this for 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, trying to get to that next level, even though they're consistent with their diet, they're consistent with their training, but they know that there are some holes in there that need to be patched up. They need someone to help them to figure out the game. And that's what I'm here for. I always say this, why are you sitting back there suffering in silence when you know that there's someone that's out there that can help you to figure out the way? And you don't have to be a competitor, because I work with both competitors and non-competitors alike. The only thing that I ask of you is that when you reach out to me, let it be at a point where you're ready to make that commitment for you, where you're ready to rock and roll, you're ready to work, because what's going to happen is you and I are going to really talk about things on a very deep level. My clients always say, I've never worked with a coach like you before, because I ask them the questions that nobody's asking them. I'm getting in your head. I'm trying to figure out what's really holding you back. And then we work to combat those things. We work to give you the tools to be able to be successful, whether that means stepping on a stage for the very first time, or, you know, getting to the national level finally, or earning that pro card, or even for those of you who are just trying to get into that perfect dress or that perfect outfit, or look good for your birthday, close off the new year with, you know, with a bang. And just really, at the end of the day, you guys, this stuff is just about, it's about feeling good about yourself. You know, like what we do in the gym and how we train is all about, it relates to our self-esteem and how we see ourselves. And so my job and my passion is to help women to, and there goes my cats again, they're playing with toys now. My job is to just help women to be able to see what it is that they're like capable of, and to use the power of training and nutrition to help them to get to new levels, personally, physically, mentally, and more. So that speaks to you. I want to talk to you. It's nothing that you have to do. Just go ahead, click the link in the description of this video, or go to rockstarfitness.com/complimentary call. Set up a time for us to speak one-on-one. We're going to have just a private conversation, you and I, for about a good hour or so, and just talk about what's on your mind, what it is that you need my help with, and then, you know, let's see if we can work together. That's how it goes. Okay. All right, guys, I thank you so much again for joining me, and I look forward to talking with you on the next one. By the way, next week I'm going to have a webinar, a free webinar. It's going to be live on my website and on my YouTube channel, and we're going to be talking about cardio and strength training techniques to get you to those maximal results and maximal goals. I will give you more information on that in a bit, but I'm so excited about it. It's like I got my slides ready in my presentation. You guys are going to absolutely love it. So make sure that you save the date. Next week, Friday the 13th, October 13th, okay? I'm going to save that date for that for the webinar, and it's probably going to be around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.